Falsehood will be transformed into attachment. Midnight, 25 Tishrei, 5720, Tel Aviv. My heart and soul, Mr. Zalman Shazar, who purifies and polishes his soul with the exalted and completely new wonders that were revealed in these generations. Peace and life and all good. Even one who merits to find himself a true friend, who received from the true tzaddik words of truth that genuinely help his soul. Even so, still one needs great exertion and much searching until he can find and comprehend the truth of his holy advice, upon which depends the essence of his Judaism. For it is very difficult to help a person with free will except with the very, very awesome kindness of God that the true tzaddik draws down all the time. But one needs for this at least some arousal from below, and therefore the task of working with people to draw them to the ultimate truth is very, very deep. Deep, who can find it? And one needs for this much searching and seeking, both from the friend and from the student. And then, if they truly will search, certainly they will find. Rabbeinu, our teacher, made the memory of the tzaddik be for a blessing, told Rabbi Yudel of blessed memory from Medvedevka at the beginning of his attachment to Rebbe Nachman, that when one desires to draw near to the truth, then the falsehood becomes powerful, and when one overcomes the obstacles and breaks them, then the letters of the word sheker, falsehood, are rearranged to form kesher, attachment. You already will be attached to me all the days of your life, he told him. The Rav and Tzaddik, Rabbi Yekutiel, the Magid, preacher of Tirovice, may his memory be blessed, merited more than all the famous leaders of his generation to subdue himself under Rabbeinu, Reb Nachman. May the tzaddik's memory be for a blessing, and to stand before his splendid holiness with awe and fear, and through him his relatives and descendants also drew near to Rabbeinu. May his memory be blessed. The tzaddik Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac also was a follower of the preacher mentioned above. He was a businessman, a money changer by trade. When he came to Rabbeinu, may the tzaddik's memory be for a blessing, his heart was inflamed literally, like a bonfire of fire for the service of God. And Rabbeinu commended upon him special practices according to the root of his soul. And one practice that he commanded upon him, that was heavier and more difficult than all the rest, was for a full year not to speak even one word to any person. And afterwards he traveled to his house, and as soon as he arrived, he completely separated himself and his place from matters of this world. And he did not speak with any person, as Rabbeinu commanded him, until his lips never ceased from Torah and Tefillah, prayer. And immediately his entire family descended upon him with very great arguments and harsh and harassments, especially his father-in-law and his wife, and they went to great lengths to speak and express to him expressions that literally cut like a sword. And Rabbeinu, may his memory be blessed, saw with his Holy Spirit the great bitterness of Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac's heart because of their evil words, and he became very afraid that he might fall from his service, God forbid, because of this. And immediately he called to one of his men and ordered him to hire for him a carriage to Tirovice. And he raced there with speed and reached there at night, and stood with the carriage near the house of the father-in-law of Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac, may his memory be blessed, who dwelled together with him. And he knocked on the door, that they opened up for him, and he entered into the house. And the father-in-law lifted up his eyes and saw that, behold, Rabbeinu, may the Tzaddik's memory be a blessing, had come to his house. And he was very amazed and dumbstruck by this. And Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac, may his memory be blessed, was in his room and was then, before going to sleep, reciting Kriyat Shema, the Shema prayer, with great power, with strong and very wondrous devotion. And Rabbeinu, may the Tzaddik's memory be a blessing, heard and did not want to enter his room and to appear before him, in order not to confuse him, lest he stop in the middle of his prayer. And during this, Rabbeinu, may his memory be blessed, began to rebuke the father-in-law about his evil path, in that he was afflicting his son-in-law with such harsh afflictions. Also Rabbeinu, may his memory be blessed, asked him, "Is it not so that in the morning, when you put on tefillin, prayer phylacteries, and with your hand you wrap yourself in straps of leather from an animal, and with your mouth you are quiet and silent, and then you do not want to speak a word? Then, if some uncircumcised person were to stand before you at that moment, who had never before seen or heard such a thing, would he not say about you that you are crazy? So too are your words that you say about your son-in-law, that he is crazy because he is doing the will of the blessed Creator, according to his hidden ways that he informs to us through his faithful servants. And with other similar words like these he spoke and rebuked him, until his father-in-law was very regretful about this, and he accepted upon himself not to afflict him further from that day onwards. And after Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac, may his memory be blessed, finished the Shema, Rabbeinu appeared before him, and his heart became very filled with joy and happiness until he literally restored his life. And in the morning, Rabbeinu, may his memory be blessed, arose early and returned to his home. And from then on, Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac, may his memory be blessed, toiled in God's service without an obstructor or adversary. Rabbi Yitzchak Yehuda, may his memory be blessed, from Teplik, before his attachment to Rabbeinu, may the Tzaddik's memory be a blessing, was very famous in many towns, and people would give him redemption money, charity money given to a tzaddik to achieve expiation. And afterwards, when he recognized the truth of Rabbeinu, may his memory be blessed, he abandoned and rejected his celebrated behavior and took upon himself the yoke of serving the Blessed One with sincerity and simplicity. And also, he did not turn his face away from all the shame and embarrassment that he had because of this, and he returned to God with all his heart and soul, like the other men of Rabbeinu. May his memory be blessed. The faith alone, in that one believes in the tzaddik and draws himself near to him, even if he will not get anything from him, this in itself is very good, for through the faith and the attachment alone, his evil is consumed and he is transformed into the substance of the tzaddik, with the stipulation that his intent is for heaven. Rabbeinu, may his memory be blessed, rebuked one person who was close to him and became distant, and afterwards returned and came back to him. He answered and said, even if many years pass by and one does not move and rise in his level, and just remains at his first level, as in the beginning, and even if he is worse than before, as long as he is connected to the true tzaddik, the attachment itself is very good, without measure or value. Behold, there are people with me for whom I do not know if the deepest part of hell was enough for them, and through me they became close to God. the one who seeks your peace and success with fierce love, with all my heart and soul. Israel Dovod 10.